Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, and welcome back to day 3 on Project Roxanne. This car is actually not going to take as long as I thought it was going to take. I've had a bit of good news with some of the parts, but let's get on with it. First thing I'm going to do is fill it up with coolant after yesterday and get it running, get it up to temperature, get all the air out, and then that'll be that, and then we can carry on. But let's go and let's just give you a bit of good news I've got on some of the parts. So let's do it. Let's go. So I have on my eBay search Fiat 500 wing black as one of my search parameters, which obviously it texts you, stroke emails you when someone lists something. And it came up with one yesterday, and it actually turns out it's the bloke who bought the orange car that drove it. And he's also got a white bonnet, so I'm having the white bonnet off of him, and he's letting me have the wing for 50 quid. And he said it's a good wing, doesn't need painting. Fantastic. Well, that's a big plane. I bet it's Chinese. That is a big plane. Wow. Where was I? Yes, so yeah, getting a nice black wing. So, I mean, it's a pain in the arse having to take this one off, but it's much better than trying to resurrect that one or paint it. So today is, at the moment, it's a little bit on the damp side, but it's a beautiful blue sky, and it is meant to be somewhere between 13 and 15 degrees today. So not ideal painting weather, obviously, but better weather than I had last week before, whenever it was, but I did the other car. And all that did all the painting on that one. So I think at the moment I can't go and get it. I've just messaged him and say, can I come over and get it? He's in Maidstone and he's got to take the wing off the car, and the bonnet is in Dartford. So I'm hoping that I end up going to Dartford rather than Maidstone, because it's a lot closer. Whatever it is, I'll go over hopefully later on today and pick those up. So I'm not going to take the wing off for the time being. I'll do that once I've got it. So what I'm going to do today, as I just said, I'm going to fill up the coolant, and I want to have the engine running. After doing the seats yesterday, so obviously the seats are in the conservatory drying, but obviously I did the carpets as well and the back seat. Excuse me. And I want to try and let that dry off. Once the sun comes around on this later on, although it doesn't tend to hit it in the winter because the sun's too low in the sky, so although this gets sun later on in the mornings in summer, it's too low and is behind the houses. So, but the garden obviously is in some, so I can get on and get the bumper hopefully painted today. It's wet with dew at the moment, but I'm gonna rub it down. I don't know what to do about that bit of trim. We'll come on to that in a minute when we come to it. But first of all, let's stop waffling. Let's get on. Let's get this filled up with coolant, run up to temperature, and we'll leave the engine running for a little while to help to dry off those carpets. And then the seats, we probably won't put the seats in till tomorrow. I'm going to leave them another day in the conservatory to dry off once the sun comes round. But the sun will hit the conservatory around 11 o'clock, 11:30, and so it'll have the rest of the day in sun. For that to help to dry it off. So let's, with no further ado, let's get on with it. Well, I just remembered that I haven't actually plugged the radiator plugs back in again. Let me do that now. I'll tell you what, I said this before, it's really nice with having a 17 plate without years and years of gunge. I can't get to that bloody plug. That's really awkward. So I mean, come in this way. That's better. Yeah, without years of gunge and rust and muck and God knows what on it. It is nice. Things go on much easier. Right, okay. So, coolant. Let's do it. So, Kim, who is my sister-in-law, I won't call her my sister-in-law anymore, I'll call her by her name, Kim. She brought over that. It won't be enough, but at least she brought me over 5 litres of oil as well, which is what I gave her after I topped up a half a tin that she already had with what was left when I serviced her other car. And so we got a full can of oil, and we got, what, 2/3 full of coolant. So it saves me buying any more and adding to the cost. So, okay, let's get this topped up, or filled up I should say, not topped up, as of course it's empty. New coolant, notice. I don't do that anymore. I used to always put coolant back in, sometimes filter it. I don't do that now. This coolant is quite expensive, isn't it? It's about somewhere between 12 and 15 quid for this container. It's quite expensive. Remember the days when you used to go and buy it down in Woolworths or Halfords? No, that was oil actually. I used to go and buy 5 litres of oil in was it Halfords or no? It was Woolies, I think, and it was £2.50. I'm going back a few years, but yeah, it wasn't Castrol GTX, as was the oil of oils back then. It was some, God knows, unbranded make probably. But yeah, this is quite expensive, this stuff. I'm never quite sure whether it's cheaper to buy this ready mix stuff at the right ratio, or to buy the you know, the what do you call it, the concentrated stuff and mix it up yourself. That's a bit of a faff, I suppose, mixing it up yourself. This is certainly easier doing it this way. Obviously the level is going to drop dramatically once I start the engine and the water pump starts to push it around, but it was difficult with these original tanks to see it. Getting there. Now I just want to go, you're not even seeing this I don't think, are you? Oh yes you are, sort of. Let me just put over here. Right, I just wanted to go quickly. I'm sure for those of you in the UK, you will know the programme Dragon's Den. You may have seen years ago, there was a bloke who invented a device that stopped the glugging when you were pouring water from a container like that. You know, where the air goes in and glug, glug, glug and goes everywhere. He invented this device. And he was demonstrating it at the Dragon's Den, and he was pouring it like that, and of course it was doing what he said. I think it was Peter Jones or one of them stood up and said, all you got to do is turn the container sideways and it has the same effect, which is very true. And I remember the look on his face. So you don't get any glugging if you do it sideways. That was funny. That's one of those classic TV moments. Nearly there. I'm not worried about it being too full. I'll put it up to maximum. Oh, put it up to maximum. Obviously, we need to make sure there's no leaks as well. Of course, there shouldn't be. All the that'd do. All the things are all tightened up nicely, so it should be fine. Right, let's fire her up. Get the torch out of the way. Fire her up, let it warm up a bit, and then we will check the level and remove the bleed screw, etc, etc. Again, I have got one of those vacuum kits, and someone did kindly send me a link to how to use them, and I've saved that, and I've never ever got round to actually watching it. I will do it one day. Let's fire her up. Fire in the hole. We put it. The carpet's not actually that bad. Hopefully that's gone right down. And we can start topping it up again. No, it hasn't. Probably not. There's going to be loads of air in it, isn't there? Right, I'm not going to bore you with this, so we'll get this run up to temperature and all pressured up and what have you. And then we will come back, and I think, let me just take you into the back garden a second while that's warming up, just where it's a little bit quieter without the engine going. Yeah, so as I was saying, what I was saying earlier on is me bumper my grey bumper. Now ideally I want to take this trim off, but you know what Fiat clips are like, I don't want to end up breaking it. I'm absolutely petrified of breaking it, because that piece of trim is £206. That's why I bought this bumper. I will have a go, I'll turn it over and I'll put it on something soft, I'll turn it over and have a look and see if it's easier. If I can get it started, then it tends to be a little bit easier, and I would, otherwise I've got to try and mask it all off, and I need to mask it off when I'm rubbing it down, because obviously I've got to rub it down right up to here, and I don't want to interfere with that and damage that. So ideally it does need to come off, and I must remember to put that on as well, because I need to, that is black, I've got the black one for that, but I will rub that down and put that in before I paint it. Although actually no, I'll paint it, I think what I'll do, I might even paint them separately. Yeah, I think I will. I'll paint them separately, because obviously I need to get in the crevices on there. I'll put some tape around that bit there. And then what I think I'm going to do with this, I'm going to hang it up from my ladder and paint it like that. I'm not going to paint it on the ground like that, because you want a can to be upright. You don't want it to be like that, especially as the can gets emptier. The only good thing about having it horizontal like that is, of course, it reduces the likelihood of having any runs. But yeah, no, much better to have a can vertical. Anyway, let's get this car run up to temperature. It's starting to look like a blooming junkyard out here. Look, those wheels there. I've got that old bumper there, which I still want to have a go at repairing if I can. Pushing out, heating up and pushing. Oh, what on earth? Bit of rendering just fell off my wall from somewhere. Where on earth did that come from? No idea, I can't see any missing unless it's that little bit up the top. My God. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so what I'm going to do when it comes to fitting the bumper, I'm going to put this one on. Before I put my newly painted bumper on to test, make sure the wing and everything is all in the right place, I'm going to whack that unpainted one on. Just to, you know, make sure the gaps are right. Once I know it's right, then I can put the proper one on. Yeah, so I do want to try and see if I can repair this. If not, I'll take all the bits off of it. And Paul, the transport guy, said if I don't want this, he'll have it, because he'll fix it. But I'm going to have a go, heat it up, see if I can push all that out. It looks a bit too far gone to me, but you never know. But yeah, as I say, I'll keep it. Next time, I'll take the trim off, and the next time he comes down, I'll say, look, if you want it, it's yours. But it'd be a shame. It'd be good if I could get that out, fill any bits that need filling, paint it. It'd be a decent bumper, and of course it's got all the trim on it as well. Anyway, let's get on. Right, I'm gonna take this one out as well. And now I thought this one was screwed in, but it's not. This one's tabs as well. Deep joy. I hate these tabs. They're always the same sort of tab, and they're so easy to break them. I'm sure there's probably see on here you've got two lots of tabs. You've got an inner tab and an outer tab, which makes it even worse. That one, and there's so many bloody things as well. So these ones on here, you've got those ones which are just sort of a locator tab. They don't actually clip in, and then these ones you do clip in. So I think in a way it's better to stand it up on its bottom and try and do it. I don't know, I've done them before, and you know, I have broken them before. I haven't done one of these before. I just got to do the best I can, I think. I can't really see any point in filming it. I might as well just swear a lot and hopefully get it off in one piece. Fingers crossed. Not looking forward to this, but it's going to, at the end of the day, it's worth trying, because it will be so much easier to paint this with both of these grills out. That one definitely. That one I could possibly try and mask, but it's just going to be a pain, and I'm going to end up scratching the surface. I'd rather break a couple of tabs than scratch it. So let's do it. We'll be back once it's done. Fingers crossed. Wish me luck. What a nightmare. I managed to get this one out. It's taken me a good 20 minutes to get this out. Absolute nightmare. I think that's all like cobwebby stuff. Yeah, a complete and utter nightmare. But I got it out without breaking it. The other one, I'm going to get this out of the way. so I don't end up standing on it and breaking it. The other one, I cannot for the life of me get out. I give up. I'm going to end up breaking that as well. I mean, that's the cheaper one of the three, but can't do it. Just cannot do it, and I don't want to break it. So that's not so bad masking that one off. I can mask that one off relatively easily. So I'll get some. I'll just dry it off a bit because it's a bit wet where it's been out in the dew overnight. And I'll get it masked off before I sand it, just to protect it a little bit, so it's not quite so bad as the other one. The other one's the main one, but oh my god, these are absolutely ridiculous design. Why can't they use screws? It would make life so much easier. These things are not designed to come out once they're in. They really aren't. They never. These manufacturers just don't ever think about these things getting damaged and having to be replaced. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if it was broken, obviously you don't need to be careful with it. But you still wouldn't even be able to yank the thing out, even if it was broken. It's just crazy. Anyway, let's get rubbing down. We'll get it rubbed down. I'm going to do it with a 600 first. Some of the scratches that are on the bottom of it, I'll do with a much coarser paper. We're going to dry sand it. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's get it done. Right, here we go. All rubbed down. It's been rubbed down. It's been cleaned. It's been cleaned again. It's been dried off. It's been panel wiped. And then finally it's been tack ragged. It's dry as bone and ready for paint. I'm hoping 1 can's going to be enough. The lady at Paints For You reckoned it would be. If I need more, I'll have to buy more. But obviously I've got to do the underneath as well. But yes, all ready to go. So I am going to set you up. We'll do it on time lapse because it's going to be a bit long-winded otherwise. And get it done. Let's do it. Excuse me, I've got the mask on. That's the first coat on, just a thin dust coat. Probably can't see it because it's in the sunlight, but obviously it's patchy. It's meant to be. I'm hoping I'm going to have enough paint. I'm not sure how much I've used for that dust coat, but I've got this horrible feeling I ain't going to have enough. Just doing the underneath as well, because on the ordinary bumpers, because you've got the rubber bit underneath, so you don't do that. But I think I'll concentrate more on the top. And then if I have to do sorry, I didn't even point that. I'll concentrate on the top, and if I have to do any getting more, I'll order one and do the bottom. But so far so good. It's turning from grey into black. Ideal weather today. I know I say ideal. It's not, it's not 20 degrees, but it's probably 13 maybe. I'm in direct sunlight, so it'll dry nice and quick as well. The other thing I was going to say about good news about parts is I have got one of these. I can't remember which side it was now. Yeah, I've got that one complete. The other one, I've got the insert bit, but then there's the grill thing which I didn't have. It's completely gone. And all of a sudden one popped up for that side, whole thing, on eBay last night. I think a bloke wanted 40 quid, I think it was. 42 quid, something like that. So I sent him a message and said, have you got the other side? And he said, I've got just the grill for the other side, but it's got a couple of broken tabs on it. Sent me a picture and he's let me have it for 20 quid. So I'll put it together with the bit that I have got, which has also got broken tabs. And I'm sure, even if I have to bond it in, we'll get it in and that'll be that. So that's arrived today. We got the other one. So literally we have now everything we need for the bumper, apart from the paint to finish it off. But we've got everything else. So that's really good. So once we get this finished now, we can get the bumper on. Well, I've taken it down off of the ladder, Reason being, I've ordered some more paint. As you can see at the bottom there, it was only a light coat at the bottom, and although I did some heavy coats on the top, you know, on the main part, it wasn't enough. So I have ordered another tin of paint, which is really annoying because I could have got this finished today, but I've ordered the paint. Probably come tomorrow, and then we can get it finished. And ordered some clear coat, more clear coat as well. Yeah, so I might actually use the 2K clear coat on this, but hopefully the weather will improve in the next couple of days, because although it was all right today, as you can see, it's started to spit with rain, so probably wouldn't have been ideal to get it done anyway. But that's it. So yeah, so we'll carry on with the car and we'll come back and hopefully we can get this painted in this video. Right, the wheel has come. Literally just come by parcel force. New wheel and tile. I'll unpack that in a minute because that can go on. Reason being, we got the new wing. So I've been over to Dartford, lunchtime. I bought a white bonnet from him, which is still sitting in the back of my car, and I got a good wing, and it's a facelift one as well, which is great. So with having to repeat myself, which I'm not full of enthusiasm of getting this wing off. I got that headlight in, which took me ages to do, getting it in the right place. But obviously it's got to come off, and then we'll get that one on, and then it can stay on, and we can then put the arch liner in. Yes, right. I'm not gonna bother filming it because I've already done it once. You've seen me do it once, so let's get it done. Look at that, perfect wing. Absolutely perfect. I've given it a bit of a clean, but yeah, matches perfect. No damage to it whatsoever. Really good wing. And I've got the new wheel on as well. Just got to tighten it up. Still got to do the brakes on this, but that will come right at the very end, so they're going to have to come off again. So I'm not going to put the hubcaps on for the time being. But yeah, pleased with that. Absolutely pleased with it. Shame I'm still annoyed about the bumper, but you know, once I've got another coat on the bumper, that will be it'll all be worthwhile. That gap as well is much better than it was on that other wing. Yeah, really pleased with it. I think we can safely say that the seats are definitely dry, and I think I was going to do it, but I am quickly running out of light, and it's quite dark inside this car. Looks brighter through the camera, but I think we'll have to leave that. Probably do it tomorrow morning before I go to work, or before I start work. Yeah. So what we got left to come. So we've got a couple of bits for the bumper. Well, we got the paint for the bumper, obviously, which will come tomorrow. We have got one of those little grills to come, and bottom bar we're waiting for. I will have to loosen the bolts on that bottom extension leg just so we can move the bar, because I did those up tight, unfortunately, before I'd done the other ones up. Silly me, I've done that before. And I think we've got to polish the headlight, one headlight. I think one DRL is a little bit scratched, so they've got to be polished. I'll polish that up actually before I put the bumper on, because it's a lot easier because you don't have to mask anything off. I think bodywork wise, we put that arch liner on it. As I say, it has got a bit of missing, as you know, but we can. I think we can get round it for the time being, and then we'll just keep looking for one. I'm not going to get one from Fiat. That will suffice until such time as one comes up on eBay. So we are really getting there now. So seats will go in tomorrow morning. I'm not going to be able to get I don't think I'm going to be able to get the bumper painted tomorrow. Although I could do it in my lunch break, I suppose. Could probably get it done in my lunch break. Just got to give it really light, like 2,500-3,000 sand, just to provide a key. As obviously it's not a wet coat going on a wet coat, if you see what I mean. And then we'll do one more really thick coat, and then we'll let that dry. Well, it all depends on the weather tomorrow. I've got a feeling the weather might turn tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be as good as it's been today, but we'll see. We'll see. And then once that's done, and then the following day polish up the bumper, we can get the bumper on, and that will then be the front done. That'll be great. So not much more left to do apart from going around it. I've got to adjust the bonnet very slightly. There's a bit of I think the bonnet's got come this way a little bit. We've got to get a tyre, go out and generally tidy up. But there's that little thing on that other wheel arch, isn't there, around the other side? But I've just got to pull that out, hopefully polish it up. It might need a little bit of paint on it, possibly. Oh, that wing looks so much better. I'm so glad I got that. Looks even, I'm not even sure what year car it was, a facelift, but it looks better quality than the rest of the car. It might have come off a later one, I suppose, but it looks so much better. Yeah, really going great guns now. So it's not going to be that much longer. Obviously we've got to sort that seat out and get that sewn up. Tyre, let's get that seat sewn up somehow, service it, brakes, and then we'll be done, you know, and she can have it. In fact, I had a little panicked message from her this afternoon. I was just eating my lunch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, after having been to Dartford to get that wing. She'd been out and she'd taken my brother-in-law somewhere, and she was getting a message up saying coolant temperature too hot, turn the engine off. I thought that's a bit odd. I only serviced it 3 weeks ago. Topped the coolant up. It's had a new thermostat on it not that long ago. And then she was turning it over, and it was just sort of turning over really slowly and then clicking battery. I said to her, give it 10 minutes, try it again. If nothing happens, I'll come down. In the end, I went down there anyway. I took me top don down there, and she turned it over before I connected it, and it was really, really slow, wouldn't catch. So where's your battery? Put the top don on the battery. The car started fine, no error messages on the screen. I said to her, drive him home and then come round to me. I've got a spare battery. I'll put it in. I'll change it. She had an MOT an hour later, 4:15 today, the MOT. So I said, don't stall it. And she panicked because she forgot to turn off the start-stop. And I said, well, that doesn't matter. Start-stop only works when you've got a really strong battery. She said, but it activated, and I put my foot on the clutch and it started. I thought, hey. She got round here, turned the ignition off. I said, try it. Turned it, perfectly fine. So somewhere along the line, something's had a bit of a strange, funny half hour, and the battery's absolutely fine. So she's gone off to the MOT. Fingers crossed. Actually, it's probably finished by now. I'm not sure what the time is, but yeah, strange one. Really strange. Obviously, I'm getting that car back soon, so it is on the original battery. 2014 car. So it's not done bad, but yeah. I didn't test the battery, you know, test the voltage or anything, but it was just a bit strange. You're getting all those error messages are coming up, which obviously you do get when batteries get really low. Could be the earth cable, I suppose. Anyway, maybe I'll change that when I get it back, if I haven't already. Can't remember. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow in this video. We'll get the seats back in, see what else we can do in the morning before I start work, and then that will be almost there. So yeah, see you in the morning. Right, welcome back. Next morning, I am actually working today, so unfortunately I'm not going to be noisy plane. I am not going to be able to do anything today really. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put the seats back in. Apart from that, that's it. So I'm not going to bother filming that. Paint should be arriving today, hopefully, for the bumper. The bumper is now down here. I didn't want to leave it attached to the ladder overnight because it was putting a bit of tension on the top where it was cable tied on. So yeah, so I don't think I'm going to eat, depending on when it comes. The DPD van went past about 10 minutes ago, but it didn't stop. So whether it's a separate DPD van or not, I don't know. But it's looking good. But I wanted to give it that extra coat. So when that comes, we probably won't. I don't know if I'm not going to be at work tomorrow or working from home. So I will cross that bridge when I come to it, and hopefully before the weekend, I'll get this final coat on, get it clear coated. Again, I'm dependent on the weather because it's got to be done out in the garden. Today would have been alright. It's a little bit more breezy today, but the sun's out again, and I think it's going to warm up again today. It would have been ideal today, but we just got to deal with the problems as we can. Anyway, so that's that for the time being. As I say, I'm going to stick the seats in, and then we'll come back when we do this, which will be, as I say, one day this week before the weekend, and get this painting finished. So until then, I'll show you. Actually, I'll come back once I've got the seats in. See, the back seat is a little bit grubby still, actually. They're not come up as well as I hoped. But I have got that stuff, Simon's, however you pronounce it, up here somewhere. Can't see it, it's here somewhere. No, can't find. Oh, here it is. This stuff. Is it Simonized upholstery and carpet cleaner? This is really, really good stuff. Obviously only for patching. Don't do whole seats with it, but for patching, it's really good stuff. So I shall use that on it. That will, I'm sure, get off any patches that are on it. It's still steamed up a little bit. So as much as those carpets felt as if they were dry, that's probably the back seats as well. It's probably not as dry as I thought it was. But I'll leave once I've got the seats back in. I'll leave the windows open today, get the air around it. Oh, I left that on overnight. Look, got the I forgot to tighten those right up, and I've left the lock and wheel nut key on the wheel all night. So I'll do that first while I think of it. Right, anyway, I'll see you once I've got the seats in. Go over them a little bit. I'm not a big fan of these seats. Reason bit, I don't like this bit, which is it's almost like a vinyl, and it's worn in places. It's not. I don't like it. It cheapens it. I think it would be better off with just out that pattern at all. Don't like it. The seats are nice, but I'd rather have the ordinary material in there. Don't like it at all. But they're much cleaner than they were. They'll obviously be gone over again on the vinyl, or leather, I should say, or some of it's leather. I don't know if the back's probably vinyl, but nice to get them in, and nice to get it clean inside. I haven't cleaned the dash or anything like that yet. I'll do that towards the end. I've done the door cards and whatever I've still got to do in there. I'm not sure whether these inserts come out. I think they probably do, actually. Because unlike the pre-facelift where you just take the bottom bits out, I think this entire piece, yeah, I need to get a screwdriver down there and prise it out, and I might put them in the dishwasher or something. So I nearly swore then, they're absolutely minging. Awful. Right, another job done. That's all I can do today, unfortunately. It's time to start work in 20 minutes, so I shall sign off for now. We'll come back out. Oh, I just open those windows, don't I? Yeah, come back out when we get this bumper done. Be glad to get that done. It's horrible with that minging thing on. It's a new bumper, that one, but yeah, not nice. I've still got to sort these bits out as well. That and the one on the door. Still got to do those, but again, do that afterwards. And of course, I would have needed paint for that anyway. So yeah, I was stupid only buying one tin of paint. That was just daft. I was trying to keep the costs down, but yeah, I know for future now, when I paint a whole bumper, get 2 cans. Anyway, I will see you as and when. Morning, welcome back. So the last you saw on this video was last Tuesday. I've been working. I was working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't do it at the weekend, and whatever was grotty anyway. And I've been working Monday and Tuesday, so I'm now off for 5 days. I'm off for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the weather is like this. It's been raining all morning. Today I was going to paint the bumper. All the best laid plans and all that. So yeah, there is no way on earth. It's got colder. It's about 7 or 8 degrees, if not more, cooler than it was yesterday. Yeah. It's scuppered my plans completely. I was hoping to, apart from doing the brakes, I think I was hoping to get it finished by this weekend. That ain't going to happen now, I don't think. My wife's off on Friday, so I'm not going to be working on the cars on Friday. Although, if tomorrow the weather is crap and it happens to be half decent on Friday, I will do the bumper, because it won't take very long to do it. I just need to get that final coat on it, and then clear coat it, and then leave it, and then the next day polish it up and put it all together. So I don't think that's going to happen. But what I am going to do is very little, because it's still sprinkling with rain. I don't know if it's getting on the camera lens or you can see it, but it is spitting, more than spitting. It's a bit drizzle. Anyway, enough of the weather forecast. Let me just show you what I'm going to do now, as I can't do very much else. So I need a new tyre. And I was looking at the car to see which wheel to use. So that wheel is one of my wheels, which is, as you can see, scratched to hell. So I'm not using that one. And we got 3 wheels out here. And I think that one is not too bad. So that was one of the ones off the car, I think, or is that one of mine? No, I think that's one of mine, actually. Is that one of mine? Does it need a tyre in that case? Oh yeah, I think it does. Or does it? I'm trying to work out whether this is one of my tyres or one of the tyres that was on the car. That's definitely off the car. You know what, I don't know. That was the one that was bald. That one's a bit scratched up. I don't know now. This is a decent... Oh, actually, there's not much air in it. So I don't know if it's... I've got a feeling this was the tyre that was on the car that wasn't holding air. Wasn't taking air. I think. I don't know now. What make is it? Cheap one. Can't even see the name. Where's the bloody name? There it is. Prestivo. Yeah. Yeah, so I need to try and figure out which one's which. So these, the dirt on these shows as being very dirty, which makes me think these two are the two that are off the car. I need to have a quick look, actually, because I've got a feeling this is my one, in which case the tyre is actually okay, in which case I don't actually need to get one on it. Yeah, I decided to get a new one. Although the tread on this tyre is good, one, it's got a nail in, and if you look all the way around here, you've got cracking. So although it's not about to go pop or anything like that, it's quite bad. Where's the nail? I mean, the nail obviously could be taken out and repaired. It does seem a shape. There. I can see the air bubbling out there. That's why there's not much air in it. So I could repair that, but if I was going to stick that on the back of one of my own cars, I wouldn't worry about it. But because it's going on the front of this, and it's not my car, it's my sister-in-law's, I'm going to get it done. For the sake of 30 quid or 35 quid, whatever it is, I might as well. And then that wheel can be touched up. So yeah, I'm not going to mess around with that. Let's just get it done. Right, so I'll be back. And what we'll do is we'll replace that one, which is a good tyre. I could get them swapped, but at some point I will get that refurbished, so there's no point. So we'll leave that and we'll store that in the garden or in the shed or wherever we can find room to store it with the other ones, and that one can go on the car. Yeah, good plan. It's just a shame I can't actually physically do anything today. It's really frustrating. If only I'd ordered those 2 pots of paint, this would have been finished. I would have got all the bits on it and it would be on the car by now, and I would be on the home straight. Here we go, nice new tyre, and it is almost new. Look at it. Filthy dirty, but yeah, I mean, it's only a Chinese one, but it's almost a new tyre. 30 quid. Can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. Cracking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to jet wash it, get some wheel cleaner on it, give it a good clean up, and swap it over. And then when time comes, we'll touch it up. Great stuff. Okay, I thought what I might as well do is we are still waiting for the logbook to come back for this. So we don't know, service history wise, we don't know what's been done until such time as I get that back. It has only had 2 owners. It changed hands after the first year. So in 2018 it went with its owner that was the owner until they crashed it, the dirty owner. Hope they're not watching this. So we have to hope, can't remember what that service stamp was in it was, but that was probably from the first owner. So we have to hope that for whatever reason they didn't stamp the book, but they have actually had it serviced in that 5 years that they've owned it. And MOTs will hopefully show that, and we'll also obviously we'll look at the plates. Who's on the plates? I can't remember. Lipscomb's. Is that the Lipscomb's down this way? Yeah, ME20, so that's the one in Kent, Maidstone. So hopefully if I call Lipscomb's, they, with a bit of luck, may have serviced it. Certainly the first time, I think that was probably the stamp that was in it, to be honest. I can't remember now. That was a few weeks ago now when we first got this that I looked at that. but they might be able to shed some light. Failing that, hopefully, as I say, the MOT history, once I can see who's MOT'd it. I have actually got one. I think this was the car I found an MOT, wasn't it? So, I mean, I could bring that one up, but is it worth it? I might as well wait until I've got the logbook, until such time as I can have a look and see who did the MOTs on it. So 17, so it wouldn't have been MOT till 2020. So we got, hopefully, I've got one MOT, haven't I? So 20, 21, 22, it runs out this October. So October 20, October 21, October 20. So there's probably only one MOT actually, apart from the one that I've got to look up. So it might be worth, as it was with that same owner then, it might be worth calling them up now, as soon as I've got the MOT, and with a bit of luck, they might have been the ones who did it the year before. That's certainly worth a try. I'm going to do that tomorrow and see if we can get somewhere before the. It should come soon. It does tend to take longer with the cat in. I did say I checked actually last night. It hadn't been done yet, but with a bit of luck, it will get done very, very soon, because the car's going to be done very, very soon. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the air filter for the time being. I'm not going to do the oil just yet, but it's easy, quick job, isn't it? So let's get that down. I'll get it out and show you, so we can have a look, see what it looks like, see how filthy it is. Let's hope it's nice and clean. Right, the reason I've put it onto record now is, as you can see, I've got the front off. Can you spot the deliberate mistake that somebody's made? Air filter is in there, and it should be in there. Now, I'm not going to berate them too much for that, because I've done that once myself before, and it is actually quite an easy mistake to make. So that is either a mechanic who has never worked on a Fiat before, I mean you can see where it's crushed that in there, or someone's done it themselves. Whichever way, that isn't actually too bad. It's not that dirty at all, which isn't too bad actually, is it? It's I mean, it needs replacing, I suppose, but it's not that bad. Noisy kids. Excuse the kids. So in the bin that goes. And we've got one here, brand new one, which is a Crossland. Yeah, Crossland one, which looks exactly the same actually. And never worked with children or animal. I can't even say it. Animals. We'll put that in the correct place. Daft people. But as I say, I have done it myself before, so I'm not going to say too much. But let's do that up. Let's put that back. That's part of the service done. Oops. Dee-dee-dee-dee. That's it. Oh, that one needs to go up a bit more. There you go. My lovely new drill. It's cracking. Right, let's get that back on. Make sure the breather hose is on, which it is. And make sure that is on there like that, which it is. On the throttle body in the right position. Get these on. Oh, here comes the rain again. It's been raining virtually all day today, on and off. That doesn't want to go down. Let's put this one in first. I might do it with a drill actually, it's a little bit more heavy-handed with a drill. Is this one going in? I think this one's going in. I find with these that you have to really get them lined up, otherwise they just don't want to go in. I mean, it is lined up pretty much, but start it off with my fingers. There you go. I'm just looking at this reservoir for the brake fluid, that clutch, brake fluid, and the fluid is either very, very low or very, very clean, because it looks empty. So I'm just I'm just going to do this and I'm going to take the top off and have a look. Hopefully that doesn't mean we've got a leak. Brakes work fine, so it shouldn't be. But let's finish one thing at a time. Let's finish this. There you go. Right, it's part of the service done. It's funny that being the wrong way around. Right, let's have a look at this. Let's zoom you in. Actually, let's take the camera off. See what I mean? So they're very low or very clean. It is a bit low, actually. I'm going to top it up. Where's the maximum mark on this? Not sure. Actually, you know what? It's not. I think the maximum mark, sorry I wasn't pointing at it, the maximum mark is actually there, and that's about where it is. I'm used to seeing it coming up the filler neck a little bit, but it's not, so I'll leave it alone. Panic over. Right, that's it. Next thing we need to do, I suppose, is do the oil change, but obviously I'm not doing that now. Ideally I want to get the bumper all done first before then. Just thought I'd get that done. Okay, so right, we will come back. Whoops, come back hopefully tomorrow, and then we can get this bumper done and finished off. But I think what I'm going to do now, actually, while we're here, I've got time, I've got daylight. I'm going to whack that on. So I need to undo the bolts at the bottom on that bottom chassis leg, because when I did it, I didn't put it lined up with the new front panel. So you have to undo those and then you can line it up properly. So yeah, let's I'll set you up on time lapse. Let's get that on, and then I think that will probably be it for today. And then hopefully we'll come back tomorrow and we'll finish this video off with the painting of the bumper. A bit of a problem we didn't know about. Did suspect it quite early on, but I actually thought it was okay, but it's not. And I just discovered it whilst I was trying to put that bottom bar on, so it's going to delay me now. Let me try and show you with the torch. It's starting to lose the light now. See the, let me get the light in there properly. Right, you can see the angle of the face plate of that bottom arm, completely at a different angle to this. If you think that was pushed in there, wasn't it, and bent, it obviously bent that, and I hadn't noticed that. It's completely, it's not until you get it actually up close and personal that you can see that it's bent, and I'm pretty certain I haven't got one. I've had loads of those in the past and I usually sell them. I think maybe only once I've ever had to change them, so when I get them I don't keep them. Oh man, it's more expense. So I bet I'm not going to be able to get just the one. I bet I'm going to have to buy a pair, and then I'm going to have to wait for them. Oh well, never mind, got to be done. I think the reason it's getting dark is I think it's going to pour with rain again. So I've got that one on anyway. That was fine. That was fine. I just got to get those bolts done back up, and then we'll get that wheel back on before the ovens open again. But yeah, nuisance. But again, you know, that's something that's going to have to be done before the front bumper goes on. But at least we can get the bumper done if the rain holds off tomorrow. But yeah, never mind. All right, morning, welcome back. It's the next morning. I haven't rushed out here today because it's still not very nice. I'm not sure if there's moisture in the air or not, but it's a cloudy day. I don't think they give rain, but it's a little bit on the breezy side. It is absolutely the least ideal. Now, there is a little bit of rain in the air. It is the least good day to be doing any painting whatsoever. I've got to get that bumper painted, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know whether to do it today or what. I can't do it at the moment. There is moisture in there. It is meant to brighten up a bit later, but I think it's later. So I physically can't do this bumper painting today. So this video is getting a little bit on the long side. So I am going to end it here, and we'll do it on the next one, I promise you. And so we've probably got one, possibly two more videos left in this project. As I'm talking, I can feel, yeah, I can see there's a tiny little bit of rain coming down. It's not much, but obviously too much. I could get the gazebo out, but it's still breezy. I have got a 2.7 metre gazebo. I was going to buy a small one. I could get that out. The sides for it are up in the loft. The actual thing itself is in the shed down the bottom of the garden, so I could use that, which will keep. But with the breeze as well, it's just no. I'm not going to chance messing it up for the sake of a few more days. I've got a few more days now anyway, because I've got that bottom chassis leg that's on order. I managed to get one for 16 quid. Bargain. I bought two actually. I made an offer on one on 20 quid, and then I saw another one for 16, which I bought, and then they accepted my offer on the other one. So I've got two now, but I'm sure I'll need them at some point in the future. So yeah, so I'm going to end this video here. So as always, thanks for watching. If you're not a subscriber, click on the button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. We'll see you next week on this. Hopefully we can get almost towards the end of it, and I promise you the next video will be the bumper being painted, being put, all the bits put back on and putting back on the car. So thanks for watching. Take care until the next one. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.